Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So I just disassemble all the wheel. This is the F1 rim. I remove the paddle shift. This is the back of the wheel. It's upside down actually. Let's go like that. Anyway, and this is the attachment to the wheelbase. So my goal is to make a piece of plywood. I got some 3/4 inch thick plywood, so I need to design this shape so I can attach my quick release. There's a hole so I can get the wire through without messing up with it. This is the part that go on the shaft. I got a 28 or 30 inches shaft that will go to the wheelbase, from the wheel to the wheelbase. But for now, the challenge or the duty for tonight is to make a piece of wood the same size as this. I need to make the hole. Those are the hole that holding the back of the wheel to the front part on this 4 pins. And those little hole here, the 4 hole, are designed to hold the paddle shift. So I need to make 4 hole. Make some thread for this little body here, but I will probably replace the screw since it won't be plastic, it will be wood, so I need it to be stronger. So I will be using screws with a bigger thread so it doesn't come out, because the tension of those little body here is pretty hard. So, and when you're shifting on a race, you don't want to think of paying attention or being gentle with the pedal shift, so those little holes need to be stronger. And I will make a hole because 3/4 inch is 1/16 too thick, but for my quick release, attach quick release, to be fit in, it need to be flush with this lip. If it's more deep than that, the quick attach will bang into the frame of the wheel and I won't be able to remove it. So by sculpting that hole, my piece of wood will become flush and I will screw my quick release on the plywood, and the rest of the paddle shift and stuff like that, the back of the wheel will be screwed as well through the plywood, not on it but through it. I need to make hole so it bolts straight into the front of the wheel. So let's do it. Thing going pretty well. I don't know if I mentioned before, but to connect the wheel to the wheelbase, which will be almost 3 feet one to the other, I bought PS2 MDIN cable so I can connect them. As you can see, let me see, this is the connector of the wheel and this is the end of the cable. It's a male to female cable. The thing is, I don't know those cables and I'm not sure if they are crossover or whatever, but when I connected to test it on the PS4 on the wheel, there was all kind of thing. I don't know what button was being pushed, but as soon as I was connecting the cable on both in the wheel and in the wheelbase, the screen was going crazy, so something was wrong. So as I said, I don't know if the cable is crossover or what, but what I did is I cut the hand that I don't need. I cut the end that goes that's plugged into the wheelbase, and I weld the connector of my other 300 RS wheel. And I tested last night and it worked perfectly. Now I push every button and the screen react as it's supposed to be. So this problem is fixed. I don't know, as I said, I don't know if it was a bad cable or if it was a crossover or something, but now it worked great. So this step is done. The next step, you know that I was working on a piece of wood to replace that part. That part go in the back of the wheel, and it's screwing on the wheelbase, as everybody know. But since I want a quick release to put on the shaft of my new steering column, I needed to replace that piece, or to make a new piece. I don't have plastic mold and stuff like that, so I decided to make it from wood. My first attempt was not a success because I've tried to make the entire piece in only one piece of wood, and happened to the best way to do it was to use two pieces. So this is the inside part, or the first piece I've made. I don't know if you can tell, but this is the center, is the same shape. I've carved the way for the shaft to be in. The tap shift will sit like that on the other hand, and it fits very tight in the back of the wheel. Let me get rid of this one. It feels very tight in here. I just painted last night, so it's still a bit sticky. And I made another part which will go outside, and as you can see, there's around the rim there's two flat spots, and this second piece will go like that, and it will squeeze the back of the wheel together, so it will be very tight on the cover, and I won't be scared to break anything or to break the plastic, because the two pieces of woods will be screwed together and not just screw in the plastic. So I'm getting ready to assemble it. While I'm there, I already replaced the two encoder on the wheel, and I will also replace, like I said, the two tact switch of the pedal shift while the wheel is open. So I already mounted them on another frame. I also have a video on how to install new tact switch on this thing. I will put the link in the description. Got a two spring. As you can see, it's a bit dark because it overheat the board when I installed them, but it's tested and they are working. And as you will heard, the new switch are quieter than the original one, should I say. So this is the home run switch that I just installed on the pedal shift, and this is the original one. So you can hear straight away that it's way louder, the original one and the new one. Can barely hear them. Maybe it will be disturbing at the beginning, since when you're shifting you hear the shift. Now I won't hear it anymore. It's very quiet, and they built to live 3 times the original one. The original one are built for 1 million click, and the home run ones are built for 3 million clicks. So it should last until I decide to buy a new wheel. Let's start the installation. So the first step is to install the connector in the back piece, and for that I can only put one screw, as the other one will interfere with the screw that holding this part. So I will put only one little body in here, pretty small screws. I already pre-drilled the hole. Doesn't need to be very tight, it won't move, and the other screw will be bolt from behind. So now the next step is to install the quick release, just like it. With some long nose, I will make a test if I can connect my cable or if I have to connect it before. Like that. Yeah, I can connect it afterwards, so it's easy done. So now I will install the quick release to the plate. Okay, that little body is sticking out, and you know what? I don't even need a screw because it's sitting on the side of the quick release attachment. So I will remove the screw and see if it stick the connector to its place, but I believe it will. Let's try this again. Straight. Tight it and see if the connector stay in its place. Does it seems to move? No, it's pretty tight there. Moving a bit, but it won't go anywhere. Since the bolts are sticking out a bit, I will make sure the quick release open far enough to release the shaft before going any further. This will be welded on the steering column shaft. Yeah, it's getting in and it's getting out. Now let's install the inside section. So I need to pass my connector here and align the hole. Again, the holes are pre-drilled. Like that. Now it's the turn of the paddle shift. Already put some grease on the shaft, so I will watch not to mess up every. Oh, it's upside down. Can still hear them, but it's not very loud compared to the other one. And I forgot the spring. Don't forget the springs. Yeah, feeling better with the springs in. Okay, now the screws, it's also pre-drilled hole straight to the piece outside, but you need to change a bit. Let's give it a try, and if we don't like it, we can open it and adjust things, but it's testing, right? So let's just test it. So far, as you can see, this was the last piece, so it will go about this height. So it's a bit higher with the quick release and the piece I just made. It's hard to see. Okay, let's just wash like that. So it will be about this height. So it's not a big difference, maybe inch and a half, about this height, inch and a half or 2 inch more thick, should I say. But I need that because I won't be able to get out of my seat if the steering is steady, and I don't want to unscrew that every time I want to go out, because it's long and it's annoying, you know, while you can just do anyway. Let's go, let's move forward with the putting back together. Okay, in here everything is tight. Replace the encoders. So far we got only 2 pieces. Now we got the front of the wheel and we have the back of the wheel. So it's now time to connect everything back together. The top is here. The top is here. So the first you need to connect is the paddle shift, no sorry, the main connector, the one who goes to the wheelbase. Need to make sure to connect it the right way. Sorry, my hand hide everything, but I believe you know by now how to connect a connector. And the other one is the paddle shift. The left one will go in the left connector, and the right one will go in the right connector, obviously. But it's very small, so I cannot very show you at the moment. One. Let's put some screws before testing anything further. Okay. And we need to switch back to our Phillips screwdriver. There's some main bolts, more more stronger screws. Put them first so everything is steady, so I can move the wheel around without being scary of breaking a little wire inside. And I suggest you don't put any screws too tight until all the screws are in, so you're sure that the cover or the back of the wheel is perfectly sitting everywhere around. And we have two screws in the front, but you see it's way quieter, barely hear them. And the long screws go in the front. The slim long screws. This is it, it's installed. I will have my shaft. Maybe I can show you. It's the same wheel, but with a quick release attached to it. I will draw the camera so you can see. So first you need to align it, and then but I'm sure you all know how it works. So this will be the shaft. This is the back of the wheel with the new part. Obviously you cannot put that. So this is where the shaft will be welded, the new quick release and the new parts. And obviously you don't have the thread anymore, so you can't put it directly on the Thrustmaster wheelbase. But since anyway you will see my project later, but I won't use the wheelbase as it's supposed to be. I will put a column steering shaft and take the wheelbase away from my site, but you will see that soon. So stay tuned for the next part of this project. And on this, I wish everybody a good night and see you next time. Goodbye.